My mom tried to seduce my husband to test if he was loyal. Her name is Diane, and for most of my life, I thought she was just an overprotective mother. She was involved in everything I did. My friendships, my clothes, my job choices, my relationships. She always had an opinion, and somehow every opinion was because she loved me. For years, I believed that. Then I met Marcus. I met him at a friend's birthday dinner 4 years ago. He was quiet, polite, and easy to talk to. We ended up sitting next to each other, and by the end of the night, we had exchanged numbers. Our first date was the next weekend. After that, things moved fast, but not in a scary way. It just felt natural. Marcus was calm. He listened. He didn't make everything into a fight. After growing up with my mom turning every small problem into a huge emotional event, Marcus felt safe. 2 years later, he proposed. I said yes. My mom acted happy at first. She hugged me, cried, and told me she always knew I would find someone special. But then the comments started. At first, they were small. She would say things like, "Marcus is very handsome. You're lucky." Or, "Men like him get attention. You know that, right?" Or, "I hope he's as loyal as you think he is." I told myself she was just being protective. Marcus was patient with her. That was one of the things I loved about him. When she made weird comments, he didn't react. When she pushed boundaries, he stayed calm. When she gave opinions nobody asked for, he just smiled and changed the subject. I thought that meant he was mature. Now I think it meant something else. We got married 6 months after the engagement. It was a small wedding. Close family, close friends, nothing huge. My mom still managed to involve herself in everything. The flowers, the food, the guest list, even my dress. Every time I tried to make a decision without her, she acted hurt. Marcus told me to let it go. He said, "She just wants to feel included." So I let it go. After the wedding, my mom came over every Sunday for dinner. That had always been our routine, and somehow it continued even after I was married. Every Sunday, she would show up, sit across from Marcus, and act like everything was normal. For the first year, I noticed nothing. Then during the second year, my mom started getting weirder. She complimented Marcus constantly. Not normal compliments either. She would say things like, "If I were 20 years younger, I'd be careful around you." Then she would laugh and say she was joking. She would touch his arm when she talked to him. She would ask him to help her with things at her apartment. She started texting him directly about random problems, like a broken shelf or a leaking sink. I told myself it was annoying, not dangerous. Then one day, I found the folder. Marcus and I shared a laptop sometimes. I was looking for vacation photos from the summer before, and while scrolling through folders, I saw one I didn't recognize. It had a date from 8 months earlier. I opened it. Inside were photos of my mom. Not family photos. Not normal photos. Photos no mother should ever send to her daughter's husband. I just sat there staring at the screen. My first thought wasn't even anger. It was confusion. My brain kept trying to make it into something else. Maybe it was spam. Maybe someone hacked her. Maybe Marcus saved them for proof. But then I checked the message screenshots in the same folder. They were from my mom. To Marcus. And he had kept them. For 8 months. I closed the laptop and went into the kitchen. I made tea, even though I didn't want tea. I just needed something to do with my hands. Marcus came home from work that evening and immediately knew something was wrong. He asked, "What happened?" I said, "I found the folder." He didn't ask what folder. That told me everything. He sat down and started explaining before I even asked. He said my mom had started making comments to him after the wedding. Then she started texting him. Then she found reasons to be alone with him when he went to help her at her apartment. He said the photos came later. He said nothing physical happened. He said he didn't know how to tell me. He said he thought if he ignored it, she would stop. I listened to all of it. Then I said, "You kept the photos." He said, "I didn't know what to do with them." I said, "You kept them for 8 months." He looked down. I said, "You let me sit across from her every Sunday while you both knew what she had done." He didn't have an answer. That night, I made him sleep in the spare room. The next morning, I called my mom and told her I needed to come over. She sounded normal. Happy even. When I got to her apartment, she opened the door smiling. I walked past her, sat in the living room, and said, "I know about the photos." Her face changed instantly. I said, "I know what you sent Marcus. I know when you sent them. I know he kept them. So I want you to explain what you thought you were doing." She didn't apologize. She said, "I was testing him." I stared at her. She said, "I needed to know if he was loyal to you." I said, "You sent my husband explicit photos of yourself to test him?" She said, A man who would betray you with your own mother is not a man you should be married to. I said, and when he kept the photos from me for 8 months, what did you do? She went quiet. I said, you came to dinner every Sunday. You sat across from me. You smiled at me. You watched me live with a man you knew had failed your test. She said, I didn't want to hurt you. That made me laugh once. Not because it was funny, because I couldn't believe she said it out loud. I said, you didn't want to hurt me, so you sent photos to my husband and kept it secret. She started crying. She said, everything I do is because I love you. And for the first time in my life, that sentence didn't work on me. I stood up and said, don't call me. She said, I'm your mother. I said, I know, that's what makes it worse. Then I left. For the next few weeks, Marcus tried to fix things. He cried. He apologized. He said he was embarrassed. He said he was scared I would leave him. He said he made a stupid mistake by hiding it. But then I found out it was worse. The photos were not the only thing. I checked the phone records. Marcus and my mom had been texting for months before the photos. Hundreds of messages. Most were deleted, but not all of them. Some were still backed up. My mom had been flirting with him for almost a year, and Marcus had not exactly been shutting it down. He had replied, not as aggressively as her, but enough. Enough to make me sick. One message from my mom said, if I was your wife, I'd appreciate you more. Marcus replied, your trouble. She replied, only if you want me to be. He didn't tell her to stop. He didn't block her. He didn't tell me. He just kept letting it happen. When I confronted him, he admitted he liked the attention. That sentence killed whatever was left. He said, it made me feel wanted. I said, by my mother? He started crying again. I stopped feeling sorry for him. Because that was the thing. My mom was disgusting for starting it, but Marcus had choices. Every step of the way, he had choices. He could have told me after the first weird message. He could have blocked her. He could have shown me the photos the day she sent them. Instead, he hid everything and let me keep trusting both of them. 3 months later, we separated. 6 months later, I filed for divorce. My mom did not handle it quietly. She called me from different numbers. She emailed me. She showed up at my apartment. She called my friends. She told relatives I was being cruel and that she had only been trying to protect me. So I stopped protecting her. I sent the screenshots to my aunt first, then to my grandmother, then to anyone who tried to tell me I was overreacting. I didn't send the photos. I wasn't going to do that. But I sent the messages. I sent enough proof for everyone to understand exactly what kind of test this had been. My family split immediately. Some people said my mom was sick and needed help. Some said Marcus was the real problem. Some said I should forgive her because she was my mother. I told every single one of them the same thing. She tried to seduce my husband. Then she hid the results of her own test because he failed. After that, most people stopped arguing. Marcus lost a lot, too. His family found out. His friends found out. His sister called me and apologized even though she had done nothing wrong. My mom tried one last time to reach me about a year later. She left a voicemail. She said she was sorry. She said she understood now how wrong it was. She said she missed me every day and would spend the rest of her life making it up to me. I listened to it once. Then I deleted it. Because the truth is, I don't know if she was sorry for what she did or sorry that everyone finally saw it. Marcus tried reaching out too. He sent an email saying he had started therapy and understood how badly he failed me. I didn't respond. I hope he becomes better. I just don't need to be there to watch it. I'm divorced now. I don't speak to my mother. I live alone in a small apartment that feels more peaceful than any home I ever had with them in it. Sometimes I miss the version of my mom I thought I had. Then I remember that version only existed because I kept explaining away the real one. And as for Marcus, he did fail her test. But the test proved something else too. It proved that my mother was willing to destroy my marriage to feel powerful, and my husband was willing to hide it because he liked being wanted. So in the end, I lost both of them. But at least now I know exactly what I lost.